about personal connection too. Our partnership with Alibaba has been nothing but great technology and great innovation, along with that important human touch. We want to keep working together, hand in hand, towards that goal in the medium and long term future.
Halo, selamat malam teman-teman semuanya. Terima kasih sudah standby on time di sesi pertama DTS untuk batch terakhir mungkin ya di tahun 2024. Nah, di batch kali ini DTS bekerja sama dengan Alibaba Cloud, kita memberikan pelatihan dan juga sertifikasi untuk materi cloud security. Dan kita juga sering tektokan baik di Telegram maupun buat teman-teman yang sebelumnya sempat join di technical onboarding ya. Saya sudah menjelaskan beberapa macam flow-nya. Nah, untuk program ini atau untuk training series kali ini kita akan ditemanin oleh salah satu senior training advisor dari Alibaba Cloud. Dan trainingnya sendiri kita akan lakukan selama 3 hari. Jadi hari ini, besok, dan juga sampai dengan lusa teman-teman akan mendapatkan continuous training sessions dengan Dr. Ferdin. Kemudian kita juga sudah mengirimkan Labex coupon untuk teman-teman nanti di hari kedua bisa melakukan hands-on activities. Nanti Dr. Ferdin akan menjelaskan atau merekomendasikan kira-kira lab apa yang cocok buat teman-teman gunakan menggunakan Labex tersebut. Nah, saya juga mungkin mau mengingatkan ke teman-teman untuk yang belum menyelesaikan kuis-kuisnya, silakan untuk diproceed untuk menyelesaikan kuis-kuis yang kita sudah berikan lewat landing page, dan teman-teman juga diharapkan kalau misalnya ada kendala dan sebagainya bisa tanya langsung ke saya lewat email gitu ya. Nah, sesi kita malam hari ini nanti akan berfokus ke materi cloud security. Jadi silahkan buat teman-teman yang mungkin bingung atau mungkin sudah belajar sendiri tapi masih belum paham terkait dengan materinya, nanti bisa tanyakan langsung ke Dr. Ferdin. Kemudian kalau ada pertanyaan yang related dengan misalnya modul isu atau mungkin belum dapat Labex atau mungkin masih berbayar dan sebagainya, itu tanyanya ke saya lewat email gitu ya. Jadi untuk malam hari ini fokus untuk teman-teman menjalankan atau menanyakan hal-hal yang berkaitan dengan materi saja. Nanti akan ada recordingnya, jadi
Recording in
recordingnya akan
progress.
kita upload di landing page juga. Jadi teman-teman nggak perlu record ya, nanti kita akan upload di landing page yang sudah di-share. Kemudian nanti teman-teman bisa rewatch lagi kalau misalnya ada masih kurang jelas atau mungkin kurang nggak sempat join join malam hari ini gitu. Nah, di sesi terakhir juga nanti Dr. Ferdin akan ngasih email survey. Jadi buat teman-teman tolong nanti dibantu untuk diisi ya surveinya di akhir sesi, nanti kita akan kirimkan. Untuk absensi nanti mungkin bisa dicek ke tim Kominfo ya, karena di Alibaba kita nggak ada absensi. Jadi terkait dengan absensi nanti teman-teman bisa double confirm langsung dengan tim Kominfo gitu. Nah, mungkin karena waktunya kita juga terbatas, I think I'll pass over to you, Dr. Ferdin, to conduct all the sessions. I've been assigning all the students related to the quizzes, so maybe you can focus on how they can actually get to know more about this cloud security topic, and hopefully they will be able to pass on the ACA exam moving forward. Over to you, Dr. Ferdin. Thank you.
Thank you, Bayu. Selamat Indonesia. Welcome to Alibaba Cloud. So today we are going to start with the sessions on ACA Cloud Security Certification. We are going to meet for 3 days, today until Thursday. So tomorrow we will be having some demonstrations. I hope Bayu should have explained you about the LabX credits that you should have got in your email and so on. So we have like a lot of activities, and firstly, before starting the session, I would like to explain about this ACA Cloud Security Certification exam. So like all the cloud service providers, we do have 3 levels of exams where we have the starting with ACA in cloud security, and then we have ACP in cloud security, and then for the expert level, we have cloud computing. So in that case, you can start with ACA cloud security, and this certificate comes with a validity of 2 years, and also it has a unique certification number, so which you can focus and show it in your LinkedIn profile. Like, let me show you my LinkedIn. So how I groom my LinkedIn profile to show you on for example, I just go for this, and then you just scroll down and see like you see the licenses and certifications. So we have this, I have mentioned like I have the ACP in cloud security, that is Alibaba Cloud Certified Professional, and then ACE and so on. Like, so you can, like that, you can show up your certificate also. So I have passed this certification in like 2023 July, 1 year before. So in my opinion, I could say that ACA cloud security is not that difficult. You just need to take some Linux commands, like some Linux commands will be asked, and some kind of basic questions about cloud. And then if you want to know what exactly will be asked for the exam, you just go to this link. I will share this link with you. So this is over here. So please take this link. So in this link, you can have like the exam outline. You click onto this download exam outline. So you will get into you'll land into this page. So just scroll down, and here you see we have some questions on networking on cloud security, and then that will have like 30% of the questions, and then the servers on cloud security for 30%, applications on cloud security for 30%, and then some general knowledge for 10%. So you can check on these. I will be answering all your questions by the end of the session. So if you have any questions, please post it in your chat box. So I will be answering you at the end of the session. So I hope I have made it clear. So then I would like to say about this landing page. So I hope you have this landing page already. So here you have this day 1 to 3 links for registration and so on. And then we have this certifications. So today, for today's session, you can take some of the certifications. Like we have this a brief history of infrastructure evolving, cybersecurity, and then security risk evaluation, and so on. Like so many Clouder examinations are also available. Like we have this account security, which you can take for today, and then the best practices of security, and then network security and Alibaba Cloud. So all these things you can take today. And then we have like until the last day, we have like this many number of clouders. So I believe that all of you can listen to my lecture and you will be able to take these quizzes. These quizzes are all for free, and you can take these quizzes like as many number of times until you pass the exam. I hope I have made it clear. Is there any questions on this? Any questions on this?
No, sir.
Okay. So today we will be learning about the introduction about cloud security and then the account security with Alibaba Cloud. And then after that, we will be looking into like the the quizzes and then some small demonstrations I will be showing. So that's for today. And tomorrow we will be seeing some demonstrations using the LabX. So I will be helping you to do with the LabX demos, and then we will be discussing about one topic on cloud security. And then the last day on Thursday, we will be seeing on the cloud platform security as well as the firewalls and other security parameters. So these are the agenda we are going to see for these 3 days. And then I will be giving some tips and tricks on how to prepare for this ACA Cloud Security exam and how to pass this. So you don't need to panic about this test. Like it is quite easy for you to pass. Like I'm quite confident about you guys. So if you are quite interested and if you can read some materials based on this manual, then easily you will be able to pass. So here you will be having like 60 questions and for 100 points, and you have to complete it for like within 90 minutes. So this is the overall content, like what all you need to know. Like you need to know about these protocols and then the products and so on. So that's about some things which you can know about Alibaba Cloud's security exam. Now let me move on to the slide. Okay, so I think I will turn off my cam so I can focus more on the slide. So now we are going to see about the introduction to Alibaba Cloud Security Services. So here in this part, we will be able to understand and describe the history of Alibaba Cloud Security Services and its capabilities. And then you will be able to describe the common security frameworks for cloud services. And finally, we will describe about a typical cloud data security and privacy solution architecting. So in case if you want to work with the cloud security in any organization, this training will definitely give you enough information to have at least the basics of what you need to know. So what exactly the security on the cloud? So you have like these 3 unauthorized things happening on the internet. That's what we call it as the the threats to information. Like we have the unauthorized access, unauthorized alteration, and unauthorized usage. So what exactly is unauthorized access? We keep some data in our server and we don't provide access to everyone, but someone who we restricted will try to take that information, and then it is unauthorized access. And then the next one we have unauthorized alteration. we sometimes we give like access only to few people to do the changes. But if the people who are not authorized also do the alteration, then that is unauthorized alteration. And the same goes with unauthorized usage of data. So why the cloud security is very important? Nowadays, we are having everything going into the cloud. Like every digital asset is going to the cloud. Everything which we do with the normal server is going towards the cloud nowadays. So cloud is making things more accessible. So it is getting like more responsibility. So in the Superman movies, right? So we have one particular dialogue: with greater powers, it comes with greater responsibility, right? I hope you might have seen the movies from Marvel. So you will be hearing this dialogue like, with greater powers, it comes with the greater responsibility, right? Like we have this particular cloud security, I mean, cloud systems. It is like a innovation, and it is having like something new, and it comes with some kind of uh, responsibility. It will have like more responsibility on how we will protect the data, because you are placing your data in a public space which is pledged to have more security. So cloud security is used to protect the information, the systems, and the assets on the cloud while ensuring security of the services over the internet. Now we have this information security in a nutshell. Like if you think about information security, it is we call it as the triad of information security. In short, we call it a CIA, that is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. The confidentiality means like we look for the unauthorized access that may lead to the data leaks, and also it will limit like who will get access, and it will prevent who will not get the access. And then the integrity is like to maintain the accuracy or the consistency of the data over its entire life cycle. What is data life cycle? The life cycle of a data is dealt with the time when the data is fed into the system until the time the data gets deleted from the system. That is what we call as integrity. So this is used to have like the tampered data that can cause operational risks. And then for availability, so this is the availability of the system when needed. So this is usually attacked by DDoS attack or like some ransomware. So usually when you think about some threat, it will definitely do some damage, or it will try to change something. But this availability tracking using this kind of DDoS or ransomware, it doesn't do anything with the data, but it will not make the data available with the user. So that is why we call this as availability. And next, we are going to see about the infrastructure overview, and then about Alibaba Cloud Security Services. And then we see about the safeguarding tenant security and user data security on Alibaba Cloud. So we have this infrastructure, IT infrastructure over the ages. We compare between the traditional and the modern IT architecture, and then about Alibaba Cloud's coverage of services, and then cloud services with the shared responsibility models. So what is this shared responsibility models? There are many things that Alibaba Cloud provides the security, and there are certain things the end user also will be responsible. And when you think about Alibaba Cloud and compare it with the other cloud service providers, there are so many parameters to address for the cloud security. In those, Alibaba Cloud provides its own services, like the first hand services for all the cloud security products, and it has no reliance on any third party solutions to provide security. So if you are looking for cloud security products with Alibaba Cloud, you will definitely use all with Alibaba Cloud's products itself. And now we see about how the IT infrastructure has evolved. So we need to learn about the history of over 60 years from now. Like from 1946, like we had like up to 1969, we had the large ICs and the hardwares. And that's when we had the ENIAC, which is the first general purpose computer which was released. And then 1960, we had the virtualization in the form of just a report was submitted to a publication where they that this is the actual paper which laid the seed for this cloud computing and server based architecture. And then from 1969, the internet was born. And then in 1980, we had the 1G era, that is the analog communication. In those days, we used the internet through the telephone cables. So the telephone cables were doing the analog communications. And then from the 90s, we started having the 2G era, that is the digital mode. And then in 2000, we started getting the 3G era where we used the mobile broadband. And that's when we had the birth of cloud computing. You can see the other major cloud service providers who are competing with Alibaba Cloud. They also started like in the years 2004, 5, something like that. And then in 2010, we have the 4G era of mobile internet. And 2015, we got into the emerging digital economy of Internet Plus. And then in 2020, we got into a 5G era where we have the cloud network edge and synergy. Now we see the difference between the traditional data centers and the cloud and how the security is impacted over here. So here, if you are going for a physical data center, many companies who are still in digital transmission, they are still using their own hardware. Like just use their own on premises or like on site servers. So in case if you want to have such kind of data centers, you need to the end user has to purchase the hardware and they have to reserve the space for that installation. And then they need to have people to maintain the hardware and then to perform the updates. And they just need to pay for all the utilities consumed by the servers. And then they need to pay for all the utilities even when they are not using. So that is the major drawback when compared to the cloud based data centers. But in case of cloud, it is like a fully managed, highly scalable and highly available. And the end user doesn't need to bother about any hardware or reserve spaces. And they don't need to pay when they are not using it. So it comes under the pay per usage. Now, this is the overall coverage of Alibaba Cloud's network coverage. We have this overall, like all the regions and zones are having the security products available. Now we see the cloud service models. So we have this software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. So when it comes to infrastructure as a service, we have some products for security, some products for platform as a service, and software as a service. In the base, we have the physical resource pool. This is where we have the materials for the data centers available. In Indonesia, in Jakarta, we have 3 data centers. So I would like to explain based on that. So we have like zone A, zone B, and zone C, right? So in each data centers, we have the resources of the data centers like the servers. The servers constitute of the CPU and then the external hardware GPU, memory and storage. And then we have the networks using the switches and cabling, and then the utilities with the power and the cooling. And then we have the virtual resource pool. So this is virtualized by the hypervisor, which forms the virtual resources on which the services are deployed. This also opens a path for a very powerful virtual machine. And then we have the single virtual machine that can be as powerful as the multiple physical machines. So on top of these virtual resource pool and the physical resource pool, we have these three service models: the infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So we have these three cloud service models. Now we see about the typical shared responsibility model. So when you move from on-premises, that is your own server or the user and end user server, to going towards the software as a service, the more and more responsibilities are loaded to Alibaba Cloud. So those things marked in blue are managed by the customer, and those things mentioned in orange is all managed by Alibaba Cloud. So if you take on-premises server, everything right from the server, storage, networking until applications, everything is managed by the end user. But when it comes to infrastructure as a service, from servers till the virtualization, everything is managed by Alibaba Cloud. And then the remaining ones from operating system till applications is managed by the end user or the customer. So this is what we call as infrastructure as a service. And next we have the platform as a service, where we have the Alibaba Cloud managing the servers until the runtime, and then the end user manages only the applications and data. And when it comes to software as a service, everything is managed by Alibaba Cloud. Now we see about the cloud security's shared responsibility model. There are some responsibilities with the customer where they need to look onto the cloud security products and services. And then we have some ecosystem partners which provide security from Alibaba Cloud. Now, what is the significance of this particular layer of the end user security? So this provides the services that you can ensure the security, and they are responsible for adhering to some best practices. So there are some examples like the operation security, like setting a password itself needs a lot of security parameters, like whether you are using a weak password or a strong password, whether the password is having the enough number of characters to be resilient against some kind of hacks or anything. And then we have the network security, where we configure a port which is to bypass the firewall for the convenience. And then we have the virtual machine or the data security, which is used to identify and permission policies secure all those things. Next, we see about the Alibaba Cloud Security Services. In this, we will see about the cloud security in enterprises, and then we look on to why we need to choose Alibaba Cloud for security, and then the recognition which we have. So if you think about cloud security in enterprises, overall, according to Flexera's 2023 report on cloud computing, 87% of the enterprises have adopted like a multi-cloud strategy for their IT architecture. And then the remaining 13%, they will be using like 11% will be using single public cloud, and 2% are using private cloud. And here we see about the multi-cloud, right? So what is this multi-cloud? Like, for example, you are running a company and you want to have cloud products. For computing and storage, you may like Alibaba Cloud, so you will be buying from us. And for the other technologies, maybe something with the networking or so on, you will be liking some other cloud service provider, you will buy from them. So you will use certain products from us and certain products from some other cloud service provider and integrate into one system in your application. Then it is called as multi-cloud strategy. So when you combine multiple clouds into one system, then there are a lot of risk available which has to be protected. So for that case, the cloud security system has to be enhanced. So in 2009, we established Alibaba Cloud. That's when we started having Alibaba Cloud Security also. And then in 2011, we had our first database data warehouse, that is the ODPS. And we provide security for that ODPS product, which is called as Max Compute. Next, in 2012, we went for the ISO 27001 certification. And in 2013, we won the first CSA Cloud Securities Gold certification. And then in 2015, we built 2 data centers, one in Singapore and other one is West America. And now Singapore is having 3 data centers, and it is the headquarters for the international business of Alibaba Cloud. And then in 2016, we released the first City Brain in China. And then we handled the G20 Hangzhou Summit Security Event Management. And then in 2018, Alibaba Cloud Security Service accounts for like 40% of the market share. That is almost 40% of the websites and the web applications in the mainland China are managed by Alibaba Cloud. And then in 2019, we released the compliance white paper, and we achieved the first integrated cloud native security architecture. And in 2020, we released the security functions for like 108 cloud products. So we have totally 250 products right now. In 2020, we released the security functions for like 108 products. So Alibaba Cloud has ranked in top of the domestic large-scale offensive and defensive exercises over the period of the last 2 years. And then in 2021, we have over 200 global compliance certifications to defend against 6 billion attacks every day. Now, why do you need to choose Alibaba Cloud? So that's the question you may think about. So firstly, in mainland China, we protect more than 40% of the websites in China, and 50% of the DDoS attacks in China are mitigated by Alibaba Cloud. So that much amount of attacks are handled by Alibaba Cloud servers. And it defends up to like 6 billion attacks or attempts every single day. And the server will be having like 1 million enterprises with all-rounded security protection. And there are like 5.76 million high-risk vulnerabilities that are fixed in the cloud. And there are like 66 times timely responses to emergency threats. So after doing all these, we got a lot of recognition where Forrester Wave has got us like strong performer in terms of platform infrastructure platforms and native security. Gartner has given us a magic quadrant for network firewalls and web application firewalls in 2019. Next, coming to the compliance, like we are known for satisfying the global compliances as well as the regional and industrial compliances. So one such thing I can say is the OSPAR certification, like what you can see over here. So this OSPAR certification is given for cloud service providers who are capable of managing fintech applications. So Alibaba Cloud is one among the very few cloud service providers who got this OSPAR certifications in Singapore, where we can host fintech applications. And then for the attestations and certifications, we have the regulatory bodies like the Monetary Authority of Singapore, RMIT in Malaysia, and Bank of Thailand in Thailand. And then we comply with the Data Protection Act, which is enacted by different countries. Now we see about the baked-in security. So this is like an infinite model which goes with the product initiation, which deals with the threat models which is used to break down the product modules and analyze the attack surface and threats, and it determines all the security requirements. And then we have the security technology and the security awareness training, which is used as a documentation and videos with the combination with various testing parameters. And then we have the defense, which is done by unified front-end defense, and then with some kind of online black box scanning. And then we have some exploitation monitoring, RASP intrusion detection, product release using the manual code audit. And then we have testing using the offline black box scan and IAST, and then development using the unified security framework gateway. So there are a lot of recognition on Alibaba Cloud's security services. So various statistics providers like Gartner and Forrester, they have been ratifying Alibaba Cloud's performance in par in excellence with all the other cloud service providers in the market. Now, looking into how we safeguard the tenant security, Alibaba Cloud's security portfolio and services is used for like a huge number of services. Like you can have like network traffic security, data identity, or business security, or security audit, or even the workload security. You have like each and every product responsible. So here, this picture shows you like which are all the products are responsible for such and such security parameter, and when you are going to use and what purpose we are going to use it. So in the baseline, we have the cloud platform security, which is used for the public cloud and the private cloud system. And then we have the security, which starts with the network architecture design. We have various products for the network architecture using like the Elastic IP, anti-DDoS, web application firewall, DNS, and so on. So we have like each and every product is combined with some particular cloud services. Like for example, if you are using SLB, that is a server load balancer, it is automatically configured with the anti-DDoS. And then if you are using an ECS product, it is automatically getting governed with at least one or two security groups. So you just, see someone like you are not able to see the content. I think this you are watching in a mobile or something. I recommend all of you to use some laptop or PC. But the slides, I think, okay, you're using laptop. So for the slides, I think you will be getting it through the Ops team. As you have registered for this course, you might be getting the content later. Does every security feature in Alibaba Cloud is an add-on or embedded in the product? Some are embedded automatically, and some are like we have to configure it. Is such a service truly ready for multi-cloud? Aren't there issues that arise from multi-cloud, for example, interconnection? That doesn't happen because the thing is that Alibaba Cloud's API is good enough to adapt with any other cloud service provider's API. So there is not much of issue with this interconnection. What about the recent incident in Alibaba data center? Okay, so that deals a lot with the data security as well. We were efficient enough to contain the impact, and we have got enough backup for all the data which is stored. And even before the incident was fully controlled, we were able to do the disaster recovery and the disaster like the backup of all the data. So we were able to succeed in that. Now we have this security in the cloud services. So we have the network products, configuration and vulnerability, assets and account management. We have like different items. Like we have like different threads for the network. We have the exposed IPs, ports and components. And then for the configuration, we need to do like a baseline check. And then for the vulnerability, we use the OS baseline check results and the distribution of vulnerabilities and suggestions. And then for the assets, we use the fingerprint or like some kind of digital media assets. And then for the account, we have the account security risk, network security risk, and cloud configuration. And then for the application, we have like some exposed domain names and so on. Now, there is a cybersecurity framework which is proposed by NIST USA, which provides like lot of standards in sciences. There are like these steps, that is govern, identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. How does the automatic identification of assets help to streamline the detection and vulnerability? That one, I think you have to wait until I show the demo. There are some demos I'll be showing some products which will automatically identify. Like you just initiate that product, and when you are not configuring certain IP address or some security features, it will automatically inform. What is a strong point of Alibaba Cloud Security compared to other cloud security platform? I discussed about this earlier, but anyway, I will repeat again. Like we have our own cloud security features, and we are having like most cost effective and first hand products which are available to deal with any cloud services. We don't rely on any other external or third party solutions for our security services. At this security development deployment lifecycle, when happen the data breaching, what is the migration mitigation scenario? So that's what we have this cyber security framework. Does Alibaba Cloud open up opportunities for bug hunters looking for vulnerabilities? Yeah, I think you can contact our product teams regarding that. Okay, now we see about the cybersecurity framework, which we firstly see about the governing, where we have the organizational context with the risk management, roles and responsibilities, policies and procedures, and then identify where like which one is responsible and who is responsible. We have the asset management, vulnerability management, and so on. And then for protection, what we are going to protect and how we are going to protect it using identity security, access control, network border security, application security. And then for detection, we use the network monitor, network intrusion detection, log audit, operation audit, and so on. And then after detection, we need to do the response. We do the security incident response, security analysis and attack attribution, interactive processing, defense rules and optimization. And then for recovery, we use the cross availability zone or cross available region backup. Like as I mentioned about the fire incident, we will do this one. And then we do the backup recovery mechanism and disaster recovery at the level of application as well as for the data level. And then we have the disaster recovery mechanism also. Then any benefit when using Alibaba Cloud than AWS? Yeah, like not only just the cost. Of course, we are having more affordability when compared to Alibaba other cloud service providers. But the advantage of Alibaba Cloud is that our security features are like very well acclaimed, and it has like a robust facility when it comes to the security inside mainland China as well as the main outside of mainland China. So if you are having a business to expand into the mainland China, this is the right option. As the developer who use Alibaba Cloud, do we still have to add throttle or some kind of access to limit or prevent the brute force attack that can lead to DDoS? For DDoS, actually, we have a automatic inclusion. When you spin on one ECS with the server load balancer, automatically it gets the support. Like automatically, all the ECS instances and its internal IP addresses are all taken care of. In terms of cloud security, is it possible that an enterprise choose certain cloud provider because it has more advanced technology? So it's not about only the advanced technology, but also about the performance on how reliable that security is provided. So that's the thing which you need to uh, think about. And then there is a question is like, is there any DDoS actions taken on Alibaba Cloud Security? Every day there are billions of attacks which are mitigated using Alibaba Cloud's DDoS product. Okay. Now I go to the next one, and now I show you this NIST framework, right? So in this framework, you can see which are all the products which are managed by Alibaba Cloud. So you can see like for various products, this many number of products we have for cloud security itself. So this is like the wide range of things which we have. I still don't understand the difference. And when should I use Alibaba WAF, Cloud Firewall, and Network Firewall? Yeah, definitely. I will be explaining about these firewalls like in the day 3. So you can get to know about more in detail about that. Today we will be seeing about account security after this slide. So you can get to know more about those. I will be showing about the solution architecting also. Can using Alibaba Cloud reduce our list of checking lists? For example, if you use SaaS for mission security, we need to think about it as a user because that has been regulated by Alibaba. Yeah, see, it's like automatically it will monitor. So in that case, many things are like it will do it by itself. Why many people use multi-cloud use instead of single cloud? It depends on their requirements. Some functional requirements, it may require multi-cloud. In that case, they will be using certain cloud service providers. So these are like some capabilities outside mainland China, and this one is in mainland China. So there are some limitations in the international market because when it comes to the cloud implementation in various data centers across the world, you need to think about the compliances with the local governments and the regional systems. So if the product from mainland China has passed the compliance, like for example, if it needs to come to Indonesia, then it needs to pass through the compliance check of Indonesian government. Then only we can release it in Indonesia data center. Now we have this user data security on Alibaba Cloud. So here we have the automated and highly transparent protection capabilities, which is built on like the privacy, data security, and compliance, which is taken by data obligations and the data rights. So this resides on top of the cloud platform data risk convergence. And now these are all the key capabilities in data security lifecycle management. So these capabilities are based on the data security capability and maturity model. So this involves like the collection, transmission, storage, processing, exchange, and the destruction. So this is like the life cycle of data security. So this is the solution architecture. So here you can see various products and which of the scenarios you use certain products. So here you can see like we are using operations and maintenance, and then we use like the domain and elastic IP. So we use the cloud firewall and the web application firewall when it deals with the API and the domain. And then we use the web intrusion prevention. That's where we have the DDoS. So here you can see like which scenario we use certain products. Now, so that's about in this deck. I would like to move on to the next one. Let me share. Okay. So next we are going to see about account security in Alibaba Cloud. So can I get some response from you? Like what is your take on account security? Where we need to have account security? Can anybody answer? RAM is the product. That's what I'm going to discuss. What is your take on it? Okay, every authentication and authorization or reliance on digital data, including personal data. Okay, it's the responsibility of account security more on the enterprise side. Okay, so like giving the authorization, that's correct, right? So I would like to, meanwhile, I would like to share one particular link where you can get more information about Alibaba Cloud in the South APAC. So this is our LinkedIn. So you can take this LinkedIn. So now I will move on to the slide. So I invite all of you to join this LinkedIn profile. So here we will provide more information about the technological advancements and our activities with the South APAC region of Alibaba Cloud. So now we see about the account security on Alibaba Cloud. So in this course, we will be able to describe the basics of account security on Alibaba Cloud, then about the fundamentals and identities of Alibaba Cloud, and then we describe some simple permissions management framework on Alibaba Cloud. And after finishing this deck, I will be showing some demo on how to create the users and how to manage the permissions. Now we have the Alibaba Cloud Security, account security basics and get secured. So firstly, we see about the cloud security overview and the shared responsibility model. As I mentioned, like we have this statistics from Forrester, which protects which says that Alibaba Cloud protects almost 40% of all the websites in China, and it mitigates like up to 5 billion attacks every day, and it defends against 2000 DDoS attacks each and every day. That is like 2.08 terabytes per second. Attack has been mitigated as a record, and it can fix up to 7.34 million vulnerabilities per year. And now this is the compliance settings. I have explained this already. And this is the cloud security architecture, which we seen the previous slide itself. And now in this cloud platform security, we have this account security. That's where we have the account identity management, centralized password management, and then the permissions management. So for that, we use the product named as Resource Access Management or RAM. In AWS, you have IAM. Here we have RAM. So we can create like the sub accounts and then we can provide some access. Like for example, we provide like sub accounts in our organization, right? So in what cases do you think we need to provide sub accounts and what is the necessity of that? Can anybody say? What is the necessity of creating the sub accounts? You are having your organization special access to certain data, but not all data. That's correct. Yeah. Divide the role. Yeah. Give certain access. Differentiate between the roles. Correct. Because you will be having the cloud account and you will be having the overall control, all the control over the resources. But you don't want to give all the access to everyone working with you. So you uh, create some account and provide some limited privileges and provide it with them. They will be doing it. So that's what we can limit it. And once they leave the organization, you just delete the account. But what all they contributed will remain intact. It doesn't have any problem with that. So in that case, you can go with deal with the security of data uh, in the using the RAM. So here we have the secure architecture reference where firstly we do the planning and managing the account security for accessing various cloud resources. And next we plan the operations and maintenance for security and accessing the cloud resources. And thirdly, we plan the network security for the services which are exposed. And next, we plan the host security to ensure the service availability. And then we do the planning. So here we use the key management services to ensure the data integrity and to prevent the eavesdropping kind of attacks. And then we do the business risk protection. So here we have this account security, which uses the resource access management. For operation security, we use the products like Bastion Host, Action Trail, Cloud Configuration, Log Service, Cloud Monitor. And then in network security, we use the VPC or the security group. Tomorrow, mostly we will be seeing a demo on this security group using the LabX. And then we have the anti-DDoS and cloud firewall. And then for the host security, we use the security center. For data security, we use the key management service, SSL certificate, data security center. And then for the application security, we use the web application firewall. And then for the business security, we use the content moderation and fraud detection. So in this session, we will be seeing only about the account security, where we look into the resource access management. So what is this resource access management? It is like a centralized system which will help you to monitor and provide a limited access to the cloud services and resources. So this will provide an identity management which will help you to create and manage the identities for the users and the applications. It also helps to manage the permissions on a per identity basis. And then it provides security tokens for grant temporary access via one-time or like short-term tokens. And also it provides a flexible and controllable access. And it provides a flexible control options to manage the permissions at the identity level. It also controls the access by IP address, time, window, and other dimensions. And it provides a version management mechanism as well. So here you can see the architecture, like we have the Alibaba Cloud account, and we will be providing the access to various users using different products. For example, you are having a developer. The developer needs to do something with the ECS product only. We don't provide access to the storage. We don't provide them access with the VPC or anything. So you can use the user authorization policy to restrict which product that particular sub user has to use. So those things you will be configuring and then providing the sub user account. And then there are some core features like the centralized identity, centralized permission management, unified access control, or centralized user audit. So for that, in information security, we have like the 4 A's. That is the account security, and then the authentication, authorization, and audit. And here you can see like we have one account with the tenant 1, and the tenant 2 is having another account. So here the main user, the owner of that cloud account is called as the root account, and the remaining all accounts are called as sub accounts. So this root account will be provided with admin permissions and the resource owner, and then the billing and payment. So even if you have like sub accounts, all the billing will be sent to the root account only. There is no provision that this particular resource is used by the sub account, so they get a different payment mode. Not like that. And then we have the resources isolation. So we use this Alibaba Cloud account that are isolated from other Alibaba Cloud accounts. Like as you can see, the tenant 1, they have these resources, and these resources cannot be used by tenant 2. And it provides a built-in security where it provides the protection of all the cloud's resources from unauthorized access. And the credentials can be like in the form of password or like the multi-factor authentication or the API access key. So these are the various credentials. And then we see like who uses the Alibaba Cloud. So we used see like the company employees. So these are the people who employ internally or externally. So, for example, if you are running a software concern, you may have some permanent employees and some are like the contract employees. So, you may need to restrict who use certain resources and who gets full access or like the temporary access. And then we have the applications. So the applications also need to gain access over the different products. So they also need to be provided with one sub user account. And then we have the mobile client, the mobile applications which uses the cloud services. They also need to be dealt with this RAM user account. And then there will be like some interoperability between the cloud services. Like for example, one ECS server wants to get access to the OSs, it needs some access. So here, any operation or access that always requires an authorization from the resource owner is what we see here. See here we have a cloud account where we have like multiple sub accounts created. And we have like the resource group 1, 2, and 3. When you create any cloud service, you will get to see this, like which resource group you want to list this product instance with, whether in resource group 1, 2, or 3. So when you create a sub user account, you can specify, you need to give the permission only to those within that resource group. Then it will provide access to those resources only. For example, if I provide ECS access to you in my Sandbox account, you may be able to see all the ECS instances. But if I want to restrict you to see only certain ECS instances, then what I will do, I will select those ECS instances and put it into a resource group. And then in your privileges, I will say like you can see the ECS instances, but only within a certain resource group. Now we see the RAM permissions in a nutshell. So it has the principal on who, that is a user or an employee or a group of applications or the user group. And then the next category is an action on like the system policies or custom policies. The system policies are like the inbuilt policies which are available with Alibaba Cloud. And the custom policies are like the policies which are set by the end users, which can be used on like some specific scenarios. And then we have the conditions. So the conditions involve like the source IP or the range of IP addresses which you provide in the CIDR block. And then we have the access time. And then we see about the multi-factor authentication and check whether it is HTTPS enabled or not. And then for the resources, we see onto the instances, service types, and the resource group. And next we have the identities on Alibaba Cloud. We have the main Alibaba Cloud account, and from the cloud account we can create RAM users specifically. So these are like the individual sub accounts that you can create from the main or the root account of Alibaba Cloud, and then you will assign some policies for that particular user alone. And next we have the RAM user groups. How many sub account can we create? What if primary account incidentally deleted a sub account and need to recover its all action history? Yeah, there is like around almost for each account you can create like almost like 1000 users or something like that. I will show you during the demo. You will be able to see that clearly. And then we have the RAM roles. So these are like some virtual identity roles which we entrust on a particular user for getting access to gain access like a particular role-based system. Like for example, if it is like a database administrator, he will get access only to the database related products or the migration products for databases. Like that. And how you can identify like the access, like we have this main account or the sub account or the group of users or the roles. They use the user ID or the password or multi-factor authentication, and then we have the access key pair. So this access key pair consists of one access key and a secret key. So this has to be like very confidential. You can use it to gain access by one particular application to access your cloud services, or you can provide access for like some mobile applications to gain access to some of your cloud services and so on. Like you can specify like just the access key and they will be able to gain access to the API. So if you are using the username and the password, you have to go into the console. But if you are using the access key pair, then you can go into the console and the API access. So it will provide a persistent access in this case. And then there is something called as the security token. The security token is also something similar to the access key in the secure access key, but it is like it will have only one parameter. You just use that parameter to connect it. So it will be provided with the console access. And then we see about the custom policy. Like there are some system policy. So these are like the policies which are specified in like ready-made, like you can use it anytime, like you can immediately start using it. But there are something called as a custom policy, where you have to create. These are something which are not available by default. So you have to craft the policy. How to implement SSO for multi-cloud architecture. I'll be showing that during the demo. So here you have this some case, like you want to provide access to the ECS instances to stop the ECS instances only, but that has to be like only for the ECS instances which are deployed in Hangzhou only, and we use the multi-factor authentication. So this thing work with user with no API console key cannot access the API, can access the API key. In that case, you need to specify like you want to have like the access key and the secret key. So I will show the demo. Please check on to that. Then you will be getting clarified with those questions. So here the elements we have to firstly state like we have to specify allow for the effect and the action to stop the ECS instances. And those ECS instances are from the resources in Hangzhou region. And then some conditions we specify like the production environment and the source IP restricted and the multi-factor authentication authenticated. So like here we have like some identities which are provided. Like for example, there are like some user groups we create. We can add multiple, like one user can be in multiple groups. For example, if one group is saying like the user can do it, another one is saying like deny, then the deny will take like a higher precedence. Like firstly, the deny is given with a higher priority and then goes with the allow. And then we have the RAM and IT governance. So this RAM plays a very crucial role in the IT governance strategies. That is, one account is used for one or more multiple projects. They have like a role-based access control. It is typical for like some small and medium-sized enterprises with like less than 100 employees. Regarding to the custom policies, so we have to set like a JSON format, or is there any friendly interface? There is an interface which we will select the options and it will automatically set the JSON. You will be seeing that. I will show in the demo. So there are like typically for small and medium-sized enterprises, they can have like less than 100 employees, and then you can easily split them into groups, and you can create like the sub-user accounts and provide for like admin will have like a whole access, and the developer will get like a slice of access, financial specialist accordingly, and then the applications which needs to use also will be provided the access. So this is a typical resource group, resource map, like the group-based governance. Like for CRM, if a company is having a customer relations management and then human resources and ERP solutions, so you can bring the resources under each and every group, and then based on the group's policy, you will get to have more number of usages. Does each account have an access key in RAM Alibaba? Actually, by default, we cannot have it, but we have to specify when we are creating that sub account, we have to specify whether we need to provide access to the access key or not. If you specify you don't need it, then it is not going to give. Whether XML injection can be handled by WAF, it is directly to the application hosted in the cloud security. What causes it the vulnerability is open to the attackers. It will automatically find and inform in the notifications. Now we have the tag based governance. Like when you create any resource like ECS or RDS, you will specify some tags like some default tag or like some user defined tags. So there we will be grouping the resources based on these tags, and you can use it as well. Can we give same exact privilege as primary account to a sub account? Yes, you can give it, but it is very risky. There is like full admin access available. You can do it, but it is fully risky. But that's why we don't recommend anyone to provide that access. Does Alibaba Cloud have real-time data features such as to receive and obtain Internet of Things data? Yeah, we have for this purpose, we have uh, IoT platform, and then that is one cloud service, and then we have like the stream compute for managing the streaming of data. So you just need to specify which tag that particular instance belongs to, and after that you group them for like particular tagging. You provide a set of privileges. Is there a notification if our Alibaba Cloud account is attacked? Definitely. Like I can say, like from my experience, like once there was a misuse of kind of a access key from a sub account, and immediately there was an alert stating like this particular access key is compromised, so I'm supposed to delete it. So I was able to delete it immediately, and then I was able to secure the system. So even for the level of the sub account, it is possible. Is there a risk if primary account and sub account have same privilege? The sub account could delete the primary. No, the primary account cannot be deleted. If there is an API for RAM, yeah, I will show in the demo. You will be seeing that. And then we have the resource governance and the best practices. So here you can see like the users are all categorized based on some groups, and then based on some tags based on the products. So this resource group is like an atomic grouping of resources, usually created on like a per project basis. And tags are used like extended properties of resources. They reflect your corporate perspectives, like having multiple tags. So we built these products based on like minimum viable product principles, where we have like a root account, and then we provide authorizations using the RAM policies, and the security is provided at the level of VPC, and the security is uh, monitored using the access key, multi-factor authentication, and the security groups. So how do we centrally manage the identities and access permissions for entities using Alibaba Cloud? Can anybody answer? Anybody answer this? Using RAM.
Resource
Not
access
IAM.
management.
Not IAM.
RAM.
RAM. IAM is in AWS. We have it as RAM. So we will set this is the solution architecture on how to use RAM account for the e-commerce company. Firstly, we create like independent RAM users, and then we separate these users from the API. Like some needs the API and some doesn't need the API. So those who need just the console, you provide the console, and those who need only the API, you provide the API with the app. So firstly, we have the release by the development group, and then we have the testing group doing the testing on the project which is released. And after everything is checked, the ops group will bring it to the production. That's when the software is released. And then the third rule is like the RAM users can only log on console from the internal network. And also you can configure like the strong password policies. Like you can specify what are the contents of the password. Like you want to have like this many number of characters, or this many number of uppercase letters, or special characters, or lowercase characters, or the numeric characters, whatever you can specify. And then the next rule is like you should not share the RAM user for console usage. You have to create a RAM user for each employee in that case. And there are a lot of questions. Okay, analogies, right? Okay, so that I will show during the demo. So we have this ops group which will do the management of all the cloud resources, and then having the RAM management rights and production environment. And then the developer group, they will have within the they will have the scope within the resource group only, and then they have like the read only permissions for all the cloud resources. And then we have like the instance restart permissions, and then refresh permissions of certain instances. And then the testing group, they will have the read only permissions, ECS restart permission, and then the CDN warm up. And then we have the granting of minimum permissions for different RAM user groups. And then the next role is like the server program restricts the access to the source, the principle of least privilege. And the last one is like the client program uses like the secure token service. Like as I mentioned, we can use to create a username and a password, and then you can use the access key and a secure key token, and then we have this something called as a secure token service. So this one is like something called as the SSO, single sign-on option. So it will provide access like that way. So even you can use it in an application which needs to get access to those cloud services. You can provide the secure token service that will provide access to all the cloud service resources. So then we have the next role, that is the security inspections. The user's last login time, the access keys last usage time, and then the authorization updated. So the deletion of the RAM user, all has to be documented clearly. So that will be used when we are doing like some security audit. What is the best practice to manage about cloud payment? Is it to create a sub account that has access to the cloud payment? For example, for finance department? No, it is the payment is always dealt by the cloud account user, the root user. You cannot segregate the finances to the cloud, I mean the sub accounts. So now I will go into the demo. Can Alibaba Cloud Security be used to monitor many devices and even deploy antivirus on laptops and computers like Microsoft Intune or Citrix? You mean the cloud desktop, right? So we do have our virtual workspace called as Wooying. So this Wooying is used to have like a cloud-based system, and you can bring in like the antiviruses from the cloud to monitor those systems also. And recently, Windows had some security patch issue, and we were able to fix that using some patches which we developed in our Wooying workspaces. Is there per account action history? What if an account action accidentally deleted? Can we recover that account actions history? Or can we recover the account? I mean, for the responsibility in report. Yeah, you can do it. There will be like some logs which will show you on how you can manage this. Okay, so let me walk you through the console. Give me a moment to share. So now I have gone into the console of Alibaba Cloud. So then click on to this console. So this is the home page for the console. So now I need to go into the RAM. Just search as RAM. So you have the resource access management. You have to search for it over here. In cloud management, you have the resource access management. So you can click onto this. So here you can see like you can for this main account, you can have a quota of up to 5,000 RAM user. I'm sorry, I just mentioned as 1,000. You can have 1,000 RAM roles actually. As far as RAM user is concerned, you can go up to 5,000 users. And you can create up to 300 RAM groups. And then custom policies, you can create like up to 1,500. So using this, I will show like how we can use this to create. So I hope all of you are able to see the screen clearly. Okay. So in the left-hand side, you see these identities. This is where you have this users. Click onto this users. So here I have already created 3 users. So you can create a new users like here, click here. And then you can create a username. I name it as ACA DTS 1. And then I give here you can specify whether you want to give access only to the console or you want to provide access to the open API also. So if you click onto this open API access, it will provide access to the access key ID and the access key secret. So I better drop off this open API access. It is highly vulnerable to share with anyone because if you get the access key ID leaked, then you will not be able. You will be having like some serious damages possible. So I just go only for the console access, and then scroll down. You set the logon password. So here I click on reset the custom password. I will specify the password. I name it as password must be 8 to 32 characters in length. I will name it as DTS at cominfo1. So the password is quite strong. And then the password reset I mention as not required. And then you can enable the multi-factor authentication, but I just go with a not required. So here, this is the user and the password. So I copy this to give you later. Okay. So now I have created this account. So I will provide the user and the password. Let me copy the username. So I give you this username and password for you to check. Okay. So that username can be short. Yeah, you can do it, but you need to do the settings in that. So for example, now I go into another browser and show you. And then you click on to login. Let me share the screen. So when you click on login, you will click see like this. So here you should not use this account and password. Instead, you have to click like sign in as RAM user. I repeat, in this login page, you have to click on sign in as a RAM user. And then you have to copy and paste the username and password which I gave you. So this is the username. And then I give the password DTS Cominfo1 and I log on. Okay. Now I am able to log on. So once I log on, I click on console. And then you will be able to get into a console like this, and you can see the account also, ACADTS on aliun.com and all. Now, if I want to see some ECS instances, I have not provided any access, right? Just the account is created, but I have not provided you with any access. So if you click onto this Elastic Compute Service, and there is no ECS instances. And then if you click on create instance, you won't be able to create it actually, but it will show the instance, but you cannot create it actually. So how we can set the policies? Like firstly, I will show you how to remove the access for that user. I gave access for you, and now we need to check like how we can delete that user. Okay. Share it over here. Okay. So now I have this user, right? So I go to this users. I select this one, or I can click on delete user here, or you can click on this one. ACADTS1. And I click on move to recycle bin. Now you refresh your page and try to re-log in into the system. You will be you won't be getting any access. How many log on same time on different devices can do? Because we didn't restrict the number of devices. Yeah. So now I deleted that user. You won't be able to get any access. And for using this RAM, you don't have any billing. It is totally for free. How to remove virtual machine storage which we already created. See, those who are directly having access to that particular resources, they will be able to do the deletion or creation. But once your username is deleted, you are just removed from the cloud. But the things which you have made already, it will remain already. Is it possible to log in multiple devices at the same time? Isn't it risky? Because we didn't set that security things, like you can specify that. what would be your recommendation if my organization requires more than 5,000 users or more than 1,000 roles? Okay, so in that case, you can definitely get more number of users. In that case, you can have like you can group them, right? So in each group, you can have like a sub account of sub account. So you log in into RAM user, and then there you go into RAM user RAM access management, and there again you do it. Like for example, I create one user and show you. Salim, your request is incorrect because I removed that account. Uh, Now I will create a new user. Yes, DTS 1 console access, and I will give a different password. And then I go to another browser to show you. So this one which I created earlier. Okay. So now I have logged into this, and now I go into the RAM of this one. So this is not allowed because I have not provided access to this RAM account. If I am provided with the RAM account privilege over in the main account, then you will be able to do it here.
Kategori 2 teh ya no kedua kan teh KTPI no ayeuna ujian untuk terdaftar tervalidasi di BKN paling 3.
Okay, so next I will show you about using the groups and the privileges. So we have this one user, and then you can click on to create a group. I click on to create the user group. I name it as DTS G, and then click on OK. And then I can go inside, or you can click on add user. Click here, and then I have to select which users I need. I can add any number of users, and then I can click OK. Done. And then if you see here, I have taken 2 users to add in here. They were able to get in. And then in the permissions in this group, I have to give the permissions. And then I click on grant permissions. So here you have to filter and see like what policies. Like someone asked a question like, is it possible to give the same access as the root account? You can do it, but it is of high risk. So that is if you select administrator access, then they will be able to do everything, but it is risky. So in case if I want to give only OSS access, you can provide this OSS access, ECS access, like for each and every product we have. If you want to give the RAM user access, you can give like Aliund RAM full access. That is also high risk. You have to be like very careful in dealing with this. This is what we call as the shared responsibility. In case if you want to give the data migration, I give like DTS. You have to select that particular thing and then click on grant permissions. So then you can click on view all permissions. You can see like which all services are provided with which role is provided. And then you can go to the roles. So you can select any role for this also. And now if you want to give like the system policy and the custom policy, so I go into the groups and then click on to add permission. So here we have like some specific ones, but in case if you want to do a custom policy, you have to do it in a different way. Add permission. And then you can specify this is for the whole account or for a particular resource group. You can choose which resource group you want to give access to. So in case if you want to give access to the full account, you can choose this one. If it is for the resource group, you can choose this one. And then in the policies, you can create your own custom policy over here. Click on create policy. So here you can specify, I want to give access to ECS. And then you have to specify what policies only to read. In that read, what all you want to give. I want to give like describe EIP price, only this one. And then conditions, you can add a condition like source IP, IP address, value equals like some particular IP address you can give. And then click on OK. And then you can click on to next. You can see automatically the JSON is created. You just need to copy this and add it into any coding parameters which you have it in the applications. So this is how you can create it. So this one you will see the visual editor. Simultaneously, you can click onto the JSON to see how it looks like. You can do the editing in the JSON also. Or in case if you want to import it from somewhere, you can click on to import. And then you can take some templates and then you do the editing. So did I answer all your questions based on this demo? One such case is one of my IAM usage. See, I'm using RAM, more than 5 million users. Yeah, you can do it, but from the root one each account you can create 5,000, right? So from each of these 5,000, if you provide full RAM user account, then that sub account also can create sub account of sub account like that. So in that case, you can go for that many numbers. Anybody know where someone log on with IP address form? Who log on before? So for that, there is a different product for we call it as a simple log service. So that will provide all the information. And don't try to use my username and password. It is not going to work because I already deleted it. And when I created next time, I changed the password, so you won't be able to get access. That's what I wanted to say. Like if you have anyone joining your organization, you can create the account. They will be able to get the access. And once you delete that user, they will be removed from there. Does it mean we can create like 5,000 multiplied by 1,000 accounts in total? Yeah, kind of you can do it that way. Any other questions? And then you can do the integration with the single sign-on also. You have this one SSO integration. So here you can have the role-based SSO and the user-based SSO. So you can click on add IDP. Some name you can give sample. And then you can upload the file. So you can choose the file whichever you want. And then you can click OK, it will be created. So in that case, it will create one particular, for this one, you can download from this one. Like you can copy this URL and from there you can edit it. Hello, nice to meet you.
Kiki.
I get a very junior participant in today's training. I'm very happy about it. Okay, possible. We want asking you all it. So here we see this a single sign-on over here, right? And here we have a template file. You can download the template, this XML file. You can edit this XML and then when you click on add IDP, you will be able to upload it over here. And then it will create one single sign-on ID. That ID you will put it in the any of your application or your mobile application. Then they will be able to gain access. So this is for the role-based SSO and then the user-based SSO also. So you can see like the sign-in SAML's XML and then the tenant ID is equal to the username. All these things are specified. You can edit this also. Like SSO status enabled. And then you can have the metadata file, which I shown already. And then the auxiliary domain name, you enable it. So all these things, and then you click on OK, it will be done. So that's how you can provide the SSO authorization and then the O authorization. This is for the creating the API. So for the applications, like you can create applications and then for the web application or native application, and you can specify these parameters and then you can provide access. Do you have any documentation from Alibaba to explain the RAM in detail? Yeah, that is definitely available. Let me show you how to reach out to the documentation. I go to, okay, I'll show here, alibabacloud.com, and then you click on to documentation over here, and then you search here RAM. You get this resource access management. So here you have all these things, all these parameters are here. You can just check over here. I can anyway share this link also. So this is the documentation for RAM. You can check there. Any other questions? I have a survey for today, so please take this survey for me. So I tried to give some small demonstrations using this resource access management. I hope it might be somehow useful for you. Please take the survey. I will post the survey in the chat box again. Yeah, that's all about for today. And tomorrow, I will be showing you on how to use the LabX portal and how to load the credits, and then we will do some demonstration. And then after that, we will see like some information. I'd like to ask a question. The material studied through the video on the landing page is from 2017. Okay, don't follow that one. I will be showing you the actual names because the names have been changed over the years. So we will follow what we are doing now. And it is not going to change anything for your exam also. Just to follow the latest information, you should be okay. Yeah, there will be a LabX demo tomorrow. I will post the survey link again. Please take the survey. So if you have any questions, you can post in the chat box. Otherwise, please take the survey. Okay, which one is the UID, right? So you see on the screen, I have this main account over here. You mouse over and you have this account ID. So this number over here, this is the account UID. If you have an account, then you will be getting like that. Okay. Thank you all for today. And tomorrow we will be looking into the demo as well as another topic we will see tomorrow. And then please come ready with your laptops or your PCs. Try to avoid your phones because we will be doing the hands-on demo using the LabX. And then the last day we will be learning about the cloud firewall, web application firewall, and so on. Thank you all for joining today. We will meet again tomorrow and the day after.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.